time for another CoastLife favorite. We're talking our Rate the Bay.
You know when the hands go, that's what we're doing.
Yes. Leah, what are we debating today?
Today we're debating dating apps, in or out.
Ooh, should we say what we think first?
We can say what we think first, yeah.
What do you think? If you had to pick, again, just had to pick.
If I have to pick, I think I'm leaning out.
Okay.
I think I'm leaning out. They've been around for a little while. I think I think on the heels of the pandemic, people are really itching to not meet people that way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to say out. Doesn't mean we don't like them. Doesn't mean we don't support them. But I'm going to go out. Yeah, I mean, you and I are not in the dating world. Haven't been for a while. I've never been on dating apps, but back in the day, you tried them out?
Yeah, I tried them out. I mean, I think when like my mid-20s, dating apps were super hot. My friend, she was going out on dating apps. She was like, try it. So like we, set up a profile. And Tinder really wasn't my speed. I think Hinge was my favorite one because it was more designed to find you somebody, less of a hookup, more of a someone. And I thought that the prompt questions were better. They were fun. It gave you something to kind of get creative with. But it just was never really, I think I only went on a couple of dates with people that I met on dating apps, to be honest. It wasn't my speed. I tend to meet people organically, so that I feel much more comfortable feeling somebody out in person than online, just because I'm like, okay, I know what your tone is. I know that what you're saying is sarcastic and funny and not just mean.
Exactly. It's so hard reading tone over the phone.
It really is, even if you think you're good at it. And I do think I'm good at it. And like once you know that person well, you're reading in their voice.
Different, So
it's different, but I think the first time you meet someone, it's so hard to break the ice online.
It is.
For me, it just never really worked. But I know for a lot of people who do have heavier social anxiety or just, the bar's not their scene, then you're kind of like, well, now where do I go to meet people as an adult?
Right, exactly, yeah. I mean, like I said, I've never been on them. When Tinder first came out, I just started dating my fiance back in the day, and Tinder was, like you said, more hookup. It was, and then I think it's evolved, right? Then you had Hinge, and that was more dating. I have friends who are getting married this year or next year. They met on Tinder. So
I got friends that met on Tinder,
Yeah, and just because we're saying they're out doesn't mean that they don't work, I just think that if you've been on them for a while, at least the friends I've spoken to, they're just over it. They're over it seems to be the same thing each time. He sends you a cheesy pickup line. You play a little hard to get. You meet up. Oh, surprise, one of you didn't really want a date. You wanted a hookup, or you're not really looking for marriage. It just never matches up.
It's a lot easier to lie on dating apps.
So much easier. Yes, exactly. And so I think it can be a little, of course, I mean, like anything, it can be a little inauthentic, and so they're just over it. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that they're out for now, but I bet they, of course, like most things, make a comeback.
They probably will.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, online dating was so taboo for so long, and then, like, really millennials kind of made it. We're like, you know what? It's way easier to kind of feel somebody out this way, and rather than going to the bar, or if I don't want to go out, like, this is a good way to still kind of at least make first contact. With somebody. And so I do see the strengths in dating apps. I just think, like, for me personally, it was never going to be my vibe.
Yeah.
And I think if you live in a city, it would also probably be a little bit easier.
I do think it's a good idea to download them when you first move. Like, I guess, like, if you're looking to date, obviously. Yeah, it can't hurt. I do think what I'm seeing most of my single friends do is they're keeping them on their phone. They're just not checking them as often. Because it used to be like your whole thing. You woke up, you saw which messages you had, you saw who matched with you overnight. It was exciting and fun. And now I think they're just like, I could go on a date, and they open it up and they just check. I think they're just bored with it.
Yeah, well, I can also see that the way that we've been conditioned to respond to apps is also very, like, almost sort of video game type gratification. Where, like, you get notifications, so you check them and you're happy and you're excited and, like, you're living for the thrill of those notifications. So I think once you actually either get out of the, oh, I just started seeing this person and it's like real time phase, or you're not getting that instant gratification anymore. You lose the interest in dating apps. So I think it's also treated a little bit more like the rest of our social media apps, as opposed to actually looking for love sometimes.
Oh, it is. And I do think they're not really looking for dates. So I think it's going to be a break. I think they're going to come back. I am happy with where they're going right now. I think dating apps have gotten interesting. Yeah. Like you said, the prompts and things. So.
No, I think so too. And I think kind of like what we talked about on the show yesterday, where like people are looking more for those kind of running clubs. Though I think we were so isolated for those 2 years of just pure isolation, that people are looking to build a sense of community. That I think a lot of millennials too, if we're not having kids anymore, that sort of single family community isn't happening for us at the time that it did for our parents. So I think younger millennials, Gen Z, are searching for that sense of true community, and I think maybe that's where putting the dating apps aside and like actually venturing out into the world, that desire is coming into play.
I like it. I'm liking where it's going. And don't forget, you can always vote. Go to coastlife.com/vote. Go to our Instagram. Go to our Facebook. But yeah, let us know what you're thinking. We'd love to hear from you.
That's right. But coming up on Coast Life, we're telling you where you can grab a great meal and a great view.